Hello and good morning to all of you. I hope all of you are doing well and all of you in good health. So, in today's class, we will be talking about different types of inheritance. In the previous class, we have learned that there are five basic types of inheritance, namely single inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi label inheritance, hybrid inheritance, and hierarchical inheritance. So, in today's class, we will go through each of these inheritance types and we'll try to understand it with the help of suitable examples. Now, to begin with, let us try to understand the most simplest type of inheritance that is called as single inheritance. Now, in single inheritance, a class is allowed to inherit attributes and behaviors from only one base class. That is, one subclass is derived from only one base class. So here we have two classes, class A and class B. So class B is the derived class and class A is the base class. So class B is a class that has been derived from the base class A. Now let us try to understand single inheritance with the help of examples. Now this is the first example wherein I have a base class by the name base. Now base class has data members and it has member functions. The data members are placed in the private section of the class and the member functions are placed in the public section of the class. The data members are A and B and the member functions are getAB and displayAB. Again, I'll repeat it. Here I have a class by the name base which has data members and member functions. The data members are placed in the private section of the class. The member functions are placed in the public section of the class. The data members are A and B and the member functions are getAB and displayAB. Now I have a class that is being derived from the base class. The name of the derived class is derived. So here I have derived a class by the name derived from the base class and the mode of derivation is public. So this is the syntax for inheritance. So I have derived a class derived from the base class base and the mode of inheritance is public. So here what I have, you see, I have in addition to whatever it has inherited, it has data members and member functions. The data members are placed in the private section of the class and the member functions are placed in the public section of the class. The data member, there is one data member that is pro and there are two member functions that are multiply AB and display result. So in addition to whatever it has inherited from the base class, so these are the additional attributes it has. So as we have already learned in the previous class, derived class can derive all the non-private members of the base class. So now here what I have done is I've defined the function getAB outside the base class. So this is the mechanism, as we all know, for defining the function outside the base class, right? Now likewise I've defined the function displayAB outside the base class. So I'm displaying the values of A and B. So getAB will read the values of A and B and displayAB will display the result the values of A and B. Now I have defined the function multiply AB of the derived class. So multiply AB here, what I have done is I've initialized the data member pro with the product of A and B. Likewise, I have defined the function display result outside the derived class which will display the value of pro. So here what I have is I have an object of the derived class by the name obj. So using obj I have made a reference to getAB and displayAB because getAB and displayAB has been inherited by the derived class from the base class, right? And likewise I am making reference to its own behavior, that is multiply AB and display the result. So using obj, that is the object of the derived class, I can make a reference to the member function that it has inherited from the base class as well as its own member function. Now let us consider the second instance of single inheritance. So here what I have done is, in contrast to the first example, I have the class by the name base, wherein the data members and the member functions are both placed in the public section of the class. Now just see here, A and B, getAB and displayAB are all placed in the public section of the class. right? So now again what I have is I have a class derived that is derived from the base class, and the mode of derivation is public, right? Okay, I have data members and have member functions. So data member is placed in the private section of the class, and member functions are placed in the public section of the class. So in addition to whatever it has inherited from the base class, it has data members and member functions. Now again what I have done is I have created a definition for display AB of the base class, and I have created definition I've created definition to display AB that display the values of A and B, right? And I have created a definition for multiply AB wherein PRO variable of the derived class is being initialized with the product of A and B, which is inherited from the base class, right? So then I've displayed the result of pro using the display function. Now just see here. In the main function, I have an object obj of the derived class being declared, right? Okay. Now, since A and B was placed in the public section of the base class, all the non-private members can be derived or inherited by the derived class, right? Okay, so now what I can do is I can have an access to A and B as well. So here obj dot A, I'm initializing it to 5, and obj dot B, I'm initializing it to 6. So A and B are the inherited members of the base class, right? So likewise I'm displaying the values of A and B, and I'm multiplying the values of A and B, and then eventually I'm displaying the result. So one of the important thing that these two programs are trying to express is that how to access the public and the private members, right? Okay, so as we have learned in the previous class, all the non-private members can be derived from the base class to the derived class, or inherited by the derived class. So this is very much important for all of you to understand, right? Okay, so since A and B was placed in the public section of the base class, so along with the member function it has inherited the data members. So since it has inherited the data members, it can have access to the data members. So here, using the object of the derived class, I'm initializing A and B with the values 5 and 6. So this program will give me the result as 30. Now in the third instance, I made a modification to the same program wherein all the members of the base class are placed in the public section, right? So the data members as well as the member functions are placed in the public section, as well as all the members of the derived class are placed in the public section. So now here in the previous example, pro, one of the data members of the derived class, was placed in the private section of the class. So now here pro is also placed in the public section of the class, right? Okay, so now that means what I can do is I can have an access to pro as well. So now what I've done is I have read the values of so I have displayed the values of A and B using the display function, right? And then I've displayed the result of pro, right? Okay, now in the main function itself, what I've done is I've initialized values to A and B. So A is initialized with 5 and B is initialized with 6, because since A and B was placed in the public section of the base class, so all the non-private members can be derived, so, or inherited. So A and B is an inherited member of the base class by the derived class. So A and B is initialized to 5 and 6. Then I'm displaying the values of A and B, right? Okay, and then to obj.pro. Now what I can have is I can have an access to PRO, because PRO is the public member of a derived class. So obj.pro is equals to obj.a into obj.b. So I'm initializing PRO variable of the derived class by the product of A and B, and eventually I'm displaying the uh, result that is product of A and B, which will give me 30. So in today's class, what we have learned about is we have learned about what is single inheritance. We have learned about what are the properties of single inheritance, and we have tried to understand single inheritance with the help of three different examples, wherein the data members and the member functions are placed in different sections of the derived class as well as the base class. And we have tried to see what will be the influence if the data members and the member functions are placed in different section of the classes. So in the next class, we will be talking about another type of inheritance. Till then, thank you very much. Have a very good day.